Lions TV. This is the Den Daily, bringing you all the latest gossip, views and transfer news from in and around the Den. I've been waiting around all day to announce that Daniel Kelly has signed for the club, but as it stands at 4 p.m, once again, it has not yet happened. This is a transfer window roundup show, and the bad news is that I have nothing that's concrete as of yet. But as you can see there on the screen, Neil Harris said to the Don Corleone yesterday that Millwall still need 3 players in this window. So I'm expecting it to all kick off at some point, and there's stories coming in here, there and everywhere of incomings and outgoings. So in this video we're going to cover this. Knowing my luck, as I finish filming this and editing it, Daniel Kelly will get announced. But that's who we're going to start with. Of course, the young Celtic midfielder has signed a pre-contract agreement with the Lions, and he was going to arrive in SE 16 on the 1st of January. Negotiations have since gone through between the two clubs, and it has been confirmed that Kelly is now going to be a Millwall player this week. He is having his medical today, as I said, once again confirmed by Richard Cowley, and I'm expecting that to be announced anytime soon. I think he'll go straight into the first team. Of course he will. Harris said, by the way, that Denor and Saville need a little bit of help with Billy Mitchell still out, although Mitchell will be back after the international break. And also I think if Kelly comes in, that sort of enables us to utilise George Honeyman back on the wing. I know he's not a winger, and I don't want him to play on the wing, but I'm not thinking from my mindset, I'm thinking from Neil Harris's. So Daniel Kelly will come in unless something goes badly wrong with medical, and knowing our football club, it potentially could happen. But let's talk about a little outgoing, because it ties in to Josh Coburn. Kevin Nisbet was not in the squad that travelled to Bristol City on Saturday. As a result, we had 2 goalkeepers in the bench, and that got people scratching their heads and talking, having all sorts of debates and mad rumours coming out of the woodwork over the weekend. If you look at our Instagram, by the way, it's very Kevin Nisbet heavy this morning, because it was confirmed by Neil Harris that Nisbet was ill and he is still not back in training. I just put that up and I didn't say anything because I knew what would follow in the comments. That followed on from news before that this morning that potentially Aberdeen could be in for a loan move for Nisbet, and he could go back north of the border. Someone in one of my comments said, when I put out the Josh Coburn video yesterday, I remember when you were so excited about Nisbet, and I thought back and I thought, do you know what, you're actually right. I was very excited when Nisbet turned up, and the Nisbet we had then is very different to the Nisbet that we've got now, in my opinion. Look, he's still only 27 as well. I didn't even realise that. It hasn't worked out for him. When he came in, he made his debut up at Middlesbrough. We drew 1-1 that day. He made some great runs. He got into some great positions. He just couldn't find that finishing touch. And I thought, I said at the time, that will come with games. He then scored a really well taken, composed goal at the Den in his first home game. But since then, it's just gone massively downhill for Nisbet at Millwall. It hasn't worked out at all. He's had a few injuries, and I think that's all to do with a more long-term injury that he's probably got, that he did have before he came to the club. And I think that's sort of holding him back. I also think that's probably affected his confidence. And look, he's a human being at the end of the day. I'm not going to slag him off. We've all been there. I said I did a job for years that I fucking hated, and just because they're footballers, it don't mean they can't be unhappy in their life. And I just think for everyone concerned, it's best if Kevin Nisbet gets out the door sooner rather than later. And I think he could be going back north of the border, potentially on loan to Aberdeen. There was rumours of Hibs coming in for him, and we're interested in a Hibs defender that can't get in their team at the minute, centre-back, whose name escapes me. So I wasn't too keen on that side of things. But if he goes to Aberdeen, obviously we may not then get their guy in. But we've been linked today with another centre-back, which I'll get onto in a minute. But I'll just round off the Nisbet thing by saying that, again, reading between the lines, I could be miles off it. But for me, Nisbet going out could definitely allow Josh Coburn to come in, and I'm hoping that one gets done before the end of the week as well. But yeah, centre-back wise, do we need centre-backs? Before Saturday, I would have said no. But it definitely does seem clear now that Hutch and Coops, as much as we love them, are ageing, and the league's changing and football's changing, and we definitely need a new long-term partner for Tanganga in the long run. And we've been linked today again with Luke Mcnally. Now, I'm sure I did a video on this at the time a couple of years ago when we previously got linked for the Irish defender, who's of course a Burnley player, but I've looked through my playlist on YouTube and I can't find it, so if you can, let me know in the comments. It would have been called the Den Daily Millwall Keen on Luke Mcnally or something. I can't find it anywhere. So I'm not going to cover that again in depth unless we sign him, but for me, again, a higher bracket of player than we previously maybe got at centre-back or gone after at centre-back until Tanganga. So I still feel that the club are setting the bar high, and Mcnally I'll definitely be interested in. He's been out on loan at Coventry, and I think when we was in for him before, he ended up going to Stoke instead. So do we need a centre-back? You know what, for the long term, yes, of course we do. For the right here, right now, we ain't got a lot of time or a lot of squad positions available to fill because of our budget. I'm not so sure, but I would definitely welcome Luke Mcnally. It would definitely be a loan as well, I believe, again, unless we get another permanent. That's what I like about as well with Daniel Kelly's and potentially Josh Coburn and, of course, Javit Tanganga. We're not going after these loans anymore. We're going after players to make them Millwall players. And I'll definitely be keen on Luke Mcnally to join the club. Right, so that's all the transfer news done. I will just wrap up the show by saying that the under-21s were in action today away at Coventry, and they got their first win of the season, winning by 4-3. It's a very familiar scoreline for us, of course, considering Saturday's trip for the first team to Bristol City. The Sky Blues took the lead early, but the Young Lions went in 3-1 up at half-time. Henry Hearn scoring 2, and Shamar Lawson give us a little 2-goal cushion at half-time. Just after the break, the hosts once again replied to reduce the deficit to 1 goal, but Race Bangura Williams put us 4-2 up before Coventry once again got back into the game and scored their 3rd goal. Another 7 goals for multiple Millwall teams this week, but we ended up on the right side of this scoreline. Kevin Nugent's Young Lions saw the game out and won it by 4-3. And that's this roundup done. Hopefully I'll be back for the announcement signing of Daniel Kelly, followed by Josh Coburn, followed by Luke Mcnally. That would be a brilliant week, but as we know at Millwall Football Club, things don't always go to plan. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.